town tucked away in northeast India, between Assam and Burma.
The voice of a true British lady. But why the strange tongue? November 1988. A churchyard in the New Forest, and the lady is being laid to rest. 3 of the pallbearers are British ex-servicemen. The other 3 are Naga tribesmen, with brilliant native shawls thrown over their sober city suits, here to pay tribute to Ursula Graham Bower.
I've always considered her to be a Zen Naga.
She wasn't so much a housewife, she was more an anthropologist and soldier.
I felt it was a great honor to be asked to be one of the pallbearers. It was very nice that there were us 3 Nagas there.
Surprised? She said Nagas.
Nagas,
of course. Very Mongolian looking, almost Chinese, more like Turks. Wearing these short back kilts with bands of cowrie shells, and their torsos with great strings of beads. Just one look and they were gone. And I was left, my head fairly going round, wondering what on earth was happening to me.
That moment set the pattern for the rest of Ursula's life. She'd come from an old distinguished family, the sort of family where the men were expected to shine. But she, a mere female, was deprived even of the university education she so desperately wanted. Now she had a new purpose.
And the further I went and the more I saw of Nagas, frankly, the more hooked I got. This is my place and I belong here.
Not among the tennis and cocktail parties of the Raj, but with the working tours of the British surgeons and engineers.
This time, we were going into different Naga country, and much more jungled, less open country. It's like walking across a piece of cordial peating, from 3,000 to 4,000 feet high, and the valleys go down to about 800. We take an awful lot of exercise, and we travelled on foot, of course, with porters carrying the baggage. We went on down to the Barak River, which was a big, smooth river, then at low level. With lovely green water, thick jungle, arches of bamboo, every possible colour. I've never seen so many greens. Grey rocks and bits of rapid, huge pools.
They journeyed downstream for a week by bamboo raft. The engineers fished. Ursula and Lexi knitted.
We got off on an island once, and our escort called out to us and said, I suppose you know that a tiger prince just in front of you is going into the grass. 2 ladies evacuated that island at very high speed. And little did I know when we went across there that I was to command that place during the war.
The holiday over, Ursula returned to England. But she was so haunted by that vision of the Nagas. The following year, she just couldn't keep away from the ticket office.
And this time, I asked for permission to go out and do a trip on my own. Well, this was not a thing which ladies were in the habit of doing. And there was a great deal of tut-tutting and firm belief that at the end of about 3 days I should be borne home in a fainting condition. And I went to a Kabui village near the edge of the plains, and they couldn't have been more delighted to be honoured with the presence of an unescorted young lady. And far from coming home with shattered nerves, I returned in triumph in the lorry, clutching specimens, being the best of friends with the Kabui village.
And it was friendship between equals, because Ursula found the Naga's nature reflected her own. Alan McFarlane is a Cambridge anthropologist born in Assam.
They are extremely tactful. They have a very high moral code, and that is that they have rules which govern their behaviour and they stick to them. And most of their rules are similar to ours. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't deceive. They are also extremely intelligent, almost universally cheerful. very graceful.
Orange toucan bills dangling down, tufts of golden orchid skin and scarlet wool, the hornbill's tail feather sticking up from the back hair, and their hair is cut in a sort of page boy bob. They really are most colourful.
Anyone who has met Nagas knows that they are some of the nicest, friendliest, most thoughtful and engaging people one could possibly meet. And that's what Ursula obviously felt too.
3/4 of the Nagas were Christians, converted mainly by American Baptist missionaries. Yet these gentle, cultured, God-fearing people also had a history of headhunting.
Well, there's headhunting and headhunting. I mean, there was headhunting, and still is, in certain areas. But that doesn't mean that day-to-day life was dangerous.
It's always been a custom. If you come home with a head, you know the rest of the gentlemen are not looking for you. But there is also a religious feel to it, that the soul is supposed to reside in the head, and the mana in that head and that soul, the power, is transferred to the village which has taken the head. There is another point, of course, that it proves a man as a warrior. And in the old days, no man could marry who had not taken a head or taken active part in a head hunting. So, of course, there was considerable enthusiasm among the young warriors.
This is Niu Langalang, a Naga now resident in Britain. One of the problems, I think, has been the notion that you can come across people living in remote regions of the world and find a variety of noble savages. I think we're as human as anybody else.
It's very easy to assume that because people are headhunters, therefore these people are immoral in some way. But it would be about as ridiculous as suggesting that because, for instance, the British and the French and the Germans carved each other into very small pieces in their hundreds and thousands, there's no morality in Europe.
And indeed, civilized men were about to carve each other up once more. 1939, Ursula came back to England and joined the London Ambulance Brigade. But this was the phony war, and again she knitted whilst nothing happened. So soon she returned to India, and for the first time, the British, recognizing her affinity with the Nagas, gave her a more specific task. 10 years previously, the British administration had had problems with a particular group of Nagas.
A man called Jadunang set up a new religion, which was a wonderful mixture of paganism, Hinduism, and Christianity, with a sacred python just atop everything off. And then they decided they would have a human sacrifice.
To the British, this was infinitely worse than headhunting. So a district officer was sent in.
And the ringleader was tried and executed for murder. But his priestess was a young girl of about 15 called Guide Liu. And he thought she was too young to arrest. So he gave her a good scolding, sent her to the custody of her family, shot the python, and left.
Whereupon the less than innocent Gaidiliu rallied the Nagas against the British until there was no option but to put her in jail. 10 years later, Ursula was invited to investigate the legacy of unrest. David Astor of The Observer and anthropologist Sarah Harrison now take up the story. Ursula, remember, had felt she'd been here before.
But the really astonishing thing was that they had the same feeling because of this story, which she didn't know, of the woman who said when the British finally arrested her, "I will return in a disguise that the British will never be able to detect."
Gaidiliu had told them that even if she disappeared, she would come back in some other guise.
And so when an English woman arrived and was very friendly to them, they thought, "My God, this is the disguise."
And they believed that Ursula was the reincarnation of Gaidiliu.
Well, it was most unfortunate. But apparently there must have been some resemblance. They were about the same age. She was tall and rather strongly built. And one of her more lunatic followers decided I was the reincarnation. And half the population appeared quite suddenly to go stark, staring mad. They were rushing at me, clawing at my clothes, worshipping me, calling me goddess.
I suppose it was particularly horrific for Ursula, who was in fact very loyal, to be thought of as the reincarnation of a rebel.
And I think it's not a fairy story, and it's not mystical. It's just an incredible accident that those two things happened like that.
Nevertheless, Ursula was worried lest the district officer would hear of her idolization and order her out.
Turn of which he looked at me with a twinkle in his eye and said, well, if they must have a goddess, they might as well have a government one.
But being a goddess wasn't always easy. Guideliu had complained she could not even take a bath without being worshipped.
Well, exactly the same thing happened to me. I was having a bath, and in strolled a vague elderly old gentleman holding a chicken in a basket. Well, I, at the moment, was standing up in the canvas tub. I hadn't even got a bath towel. My only weapon was a cake of soap, and I threw it at him, and saw that I wrecked him.
But there were fringe benefits.
When I was called in to help the army, I knew every single bad hat in the district because they'd all been in to worship me. This was extremely useful.
Meanwhile, Ursula was drawn closer and closer to Naga village life.
And there were two big men's clubs. The young men sleep there to form a permanent guard in case of attack. And the older men, after they marry, use it as a clubhouse. The elders sit round benches around a big square fire. And generally speaking, it's taboo for women. But they were very nice. They used to let me in. They counted me in rather, I think, on the Joan of Arc principle. But I wasn't quite entirely a lady. I was allowed in. And again, treated with the utmost courtesy.
In return, Ursula undertook to abide by Naga law, which she found remarkably just.
And the only time we came up against it was when one of my dogs killed somebody's duck. And ducks were not very easy to come by, and he was rather upset. So I offered compensation, but this was firmly refused because it is entirely against village custom to have any sort of suit or compensation against somebody else in the village. And so I couldn't repay him for a dead duck.
Ursula was no trained anthropologist, but with a pre-war Leica, she took several thousand superb photographs. I've got it down here. I'm holding it now. It's a battered wreck of a camera, top class at the time, but, well, totally lacking in today's easy technology. The coated lens, for example, had not been invented, though this is coated with the gunge of the jungle.
On top of that, she then went out, of course, with a movie camera, which was very unusual. And without any training, as far as I know, with a very short supply of film, in very difficult circumstances, she made some of the earliest color movie film that has been made by any anthropologist. There's a priceless short section on the dragging in of a large stone through the forest.
They bring in these huge gravestones. This particular one was up on a very difficult hillside, very steep, 45 degrees, in jungle, and they had this scaffolding built around it with poles this way, and the men get round it on a solid block, there were 80 on this one, and carry it on their shoulders. And they've got 2 cane ropes out behind with a team on them, and 2 cane ropes in front again with a team on, which are used for braking and steering. The thing's tilting this way and that, everybody chanting and yelling, and they look just like a solid mass of ants carrying an enormous grasshopper, and then suddenly they lost control, and the whole lot went careering down the steep big hillside into the jungle, people being knocked off their feet, and there was going to be a most ghastly accident. Well, at that moment I dropped everything, and I and the old headman, who was a spectator, grabbed one of the rear anchor ropes, and we were dragged down the slope, very nearly sitting down behind this stone, and then managed to get the rope round a tree and hang on like grim death, and everybody regained their feet. But I was just there in time to film the final stage of it being carried in. And once you've seen it happen, you realize that Stonehenge is not as impossible as you think it is.
And it's beautifully filmed. It's composed very well. She got very close to the action. She didn't have a zoom lens or anything. So that, plus her documentation and her detailed describing of things, makes her a very important gatherer, recorder of a society which no one else has documented.
But soon anthropology was to take a back seat, and defense became paramount as the Japanese army pushed towards the Nagas. But who would the Nagas support in the coming war? The British or the Japanese? Luckily, there was a precedent.
Even during the Great War, the First World War, there were Nagas who'd come as far as Flanders. So fighting on the side of the British wasn't anything new.
The British V-Force, a rather unconventional outfit, invited Ursula to form a body of Naga scouts. She agreed, but with one condition. When headhunting was rife, the British had banned the Nagas from possessing firearms. Ursula now insisted that they be trusted again. Grudgingly, the authorities provided a few ancient muzzle-loaders. The Nagas were only scouts, after all. But these weapons were woefully inadequate when matters got worse.
HQ, down at 14th Army, sent me a signal telling me to get out and get out quick. Well, this took a little time to arrive, and I sent a cable saying, going forward to look for the enemy, kindly send rifles and ammunition soonest. And this crossed with the wire, telling me to get out. And when it arrived at V-Force HQ, my OC clapped his bush hat on his head, looked at my signal, which was quite unintentionally pure Nelson, and rushed round to see Slim, slapped the telegram on the desk, and said, "From Miss Bower, sir." Slim looked at it, and said, "We must support her." And I got back from that patrol to find large boxes of ammunition, boxes of rifles lying on the floor of my hut, and boxes of grenades. Well, I never thought the box of grenades would look beautiful, but it did.
At one stage, things looked so grim that death was a distinct possibility. The Japanese were getting near, but no one was quite sure how near.
And when things were really at their worst, my immediate entourage, my bodyguard, asked for 24 hours leave to back to their villages. And I thought, oh, well, this is it. Here they go, and I can't blame them. They were never recruited for this. And they went off. 24 hours later, they were all back again. And after that, I noticed my head interpreter was a magnificent man, some cowboying of Impoy, wasn't wearing his usual extremely beautiful and very valuable necklaces. So I asked him where they'd gone. And he then explained that they'd all gone home, made their wills, arranged for the safety of their families, left their best beads with their sons, and just come back with the necklaces in which they were to be buried. And I gaped at him. And then he said, well, which was the better thing? To have run away and left you, and you be killed, and hear the other village children shouting out around children, son of a coward, son of a coward, or to come back and die with you. And he left me speechless. They'd all done it. I could tell you I don't know how many incidents of sheer blind courage on the part of the Nagas.
It was that kind of loyalty that led to the British nickname, Naga Queen. And the legend reached the great commander-in-chief in Calcutta, who summoned her to his office.
I hastily changed it to the best dress I could find anywhere. It was hastily inspected by my CO to see that my stocking seams were straight and my petcoat wasn't showing. Bundled into a jeep, driven around to HQ, and there behind the desk, looking equally astounded as I was Bill Sim. And he leapt up, held out his hand, shook mine warmly, and said, "Oh, thank God, I thought you'd be a lady mission with creaking stays. After which we got on like a house on fire.
Meanwhile, back in the jungle, a certain V-Force colonel had also fallen for the legend and decided to try his luck.
Well, I got a letter from him first to say that he was very keen on butterfly hunting and could he come up for a few days and have a look for butterflies. And Namkia arrived with an air of extreme disapproval and said there is a storm outside. So he was announcing Loch Ness Monster. And I went pretty cautiously out the back door because it was pouring and looked along there at the edge of the camp. It was a very long, thin and extremely wet colonel. What a nuisance. So anyhow, we got him in, we filled him up with tea. And the next day, it was fairly fine. And I directed him to the valley where I knew the most butterflies were. And he seemed remarkably reluctant to go butterfly hunting. And I was really getting quite cross about this. And finally I managed to chase him off the premises on the fourth day. He went down into the valley with his butterfly net and returned unexpectedly early. I was in the kitchen with the cook, busily engaged in directing the making of a cake. And again, Namkia arrived with a most disapproving expression and said the Saab wants to see him. And I went out, and there he was, in a brand new clean uniform, not the one he'd arrived in, pacing up and down, pacing up and down. There was I, flour all down my jungle green trousers. And all of a sudden, I realized to my amazement I was on the business end of a proposal of marriage.
History does not reveal the fate of the cake, but Ursula and Tim were married, first with an English ceremony, and then with full Naga rites. The war ended, and in due course India gained her independence. The Raj pulled out, and Ursula and her husband sadly had to leave. The coffee farm in Kenya, and to Tim and Ursula was born a daughter.
When I was born, news of my birth was relayed back to my mother's adopted village, and then the Nagas went into action. They wanted to mark the occasion in some way, and so a special little Zemi Naga girl's dress and top was packed up very, very carefully, sewn into a linen bag, and Katuing must have walked for a couple of days in order to deliver